So the first thought is denial. Because I heard this story from another friend. I got the call, and he said this person has passed away. And my first thought was, "What? Who? No." And then he was like, "Dude, this person." And we refer to this person with a certain nickname. So I said the nickname. I was like, "Are you talking about this person? Because it can't be." And he was like, "Yes, we are." And the first thought is denial. No, that can't happen. No, can't be this person, bro. Just check. Maybe somebody made a mistake. If this is a prank, it's not a funny one. And he was like, "Why would I joke about something like this?"
So when I first heard the news, I was absolutely shocked. Because reason number one was I thought it was a prank. I was coming back home from my birthday dinner and I thought my friends were trying to prank me. And I remember that I couldn't hear anything else. It was like the news was just ringing in my head. And I just couldn't understand why someone like him would do something like this.
Lost, confused, devastated, angry. I was in denial. I felt shattered, everybody else was going on with their lives and my life had just stopped. For the longest time, it just felt like my life had stopped and everybody was living their lives and I was carrying something so heavy with me.
Then it starts hitting you. I don't know whether it's grief, guilt, or some sort of just sorrow. It overwhelms you because just to make sure, I tried to text this person, and the last text I sent to him was when he was going abroad, and I was like, the moment you come back, we'll go have a party or whatever, we'll go out and eat. And that's the last message I sent to this person, and I was like, okay, wow, this has happened. And it just overwhelms you. For a minute or two, you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do. And he and I were just on the call. My friend and I, we were talking about what to do now, what's gonna happen next, and it's you aren't prepared for something like this. No amount of training or whatever could prepare you for a news update like this. It's odd from my perspective. It wasn't something I wasn't ready for sure.
As I as the days went by, it's not that we're used to it, but we are coming to terms with it. We as in I am. I can't speak for the rest of my friend group, but it is pretty tough because sometimes it's funny because sometimes you see a meme that he might like or something that he might like, and then you want to send it to them, but then then you realize that you can't. It was pretty. I don't know. It's still a bit difficult to come to terms with it. He was one of my best friends, and we did a lot of things together, like MUN and stuff like that, but interact and stuff. So it is pretty tough to still come to terms. And I don't exactly understand why he's done it as of yet, because there's always a solution for these things. This is not the answer, but I don't know. Sometimes you just feel like, this is the best thing that you can do.
All the time. It's something that you constantly live with after you lose somebody in that sort of way. Is there something that I could have done? What could I have done better? Was I not a good enough friend? It's something that you constantly keep revisiting. There's nothing more heavier, I feel, in a certain sense, than having to carry that weight of thinking I didn't do enough.
When I already heard the news, it was too late, but I did have a feeling because after this person, he left the country, and after this person left the country, I didn't we didn't stay in contact a lot, and I did feel guilty about that at first. But then again, if said person had called me, obviously I would have offered my help.
The thing about suicide is that it's such a taboo topic these days, especially in brown communities, that it's actually difficult for a lot of people to kind of come out and speak about it.
I would have been like, listen, the situation might look bad, but it's not as bad as you think it is. So just calm down. Let's try calling your mom, your dad. It's fine. I'll stay on the call. You can just add them to this call. Not a problem. Just calmly, let's sort this out. Let's find a solution, because you can find one. But it's because I know you're like panicking and all. Completely fine, understandable. Just try and think things through. Let's find a good solution.
I think a lot of people think that suicide is the ultimate answer to everything, but there are solutions. There are alternative methods where you can get over things that you don't want to kind of speak about to others, or maybe your family or friends.
The thing is, with my friend's situation, it wasn't like a build-up of things that suddenly snapped. It wasn't something that you could have predicted. It was one incident that none of us actually knew before his death. It was one incident that suddenly happened, and said person suddenly decided to end his life. Unfortunately, no one could have predicted that, because half of us didn't even know what had happened, and the ones who knew by the time it was too late. So there was nothing that we could have done. But obviously, if said person did call me, I would have said the things I said. We need awareness on topics like this in Sri Lanka, because it's not in an educational curriculum where we talk about things like this. Because most of our society frowns upon things like this, and it's considered a sin in most religions. And obviously, taking a religious stance, you would say it's a sin, you shouldn't do this. But then again, we're talking about a person's life. It's a certain mindset. Like, it suddenly, when things overwhelm you, you might feel at a loss. You might feel like there's no way out of this. You might feel like there's nothing that's going well for you, and you can't blame the person for it, because things start to play in your head that that you might not be able to forget, or like just overlook. If you're having a situation under normal circumstances, you might be like, okay, fine, I have so many people to help me out. But if you think that nobody's there for you, or actually if nobody's physically there to help you, because like obviously we aren't old, we are all just uni students, school students. So when you don't have anybody physically there to back you up, you might feel at a loss, and you can't blame people for that. So things like this should be taught in a school level, where school should have a separate curriculum. Add this to the curriculum where they teach life lessons like this, especially things like this.
If we were a little bit more aware, or if we had paid maybe attention to the signs, or if we had been more aware of the signs, then this was something that could have been stopped. And especially in Sri Lanka, I feel like things are changing, yes, for sure, but there's still more scope for change. The importance we place on mental health is definitely changing, especially with our generation, but it's still not enough, especially with like the type of patriarchal society we live in, and the importance we place on men's mental health is a joke, to be very honest. So there's definitely a lot of room for improvement.
Because school, now one thing that I've heard from when we were going to attend this person's funeral, one of my friend's mothers told me this. She was like, Sahan, the thing is, parents always teach kids how to win, but they don't teach kids how to lose, and that's a problem. And this stuck with me because it's so true. Like usually anyone for that matter, they teach you how to win, they teach you what to do, how to act to win, but they teach you how to celebrate, you do this when you win, but they don't teach you how to lose. It's always the hardest ones are when you have absolutely nobody to back you up. So it's very unfortunate and people need to learn that there's, instead of taking hasty decisions, that you need to calmly think of it, and that can't happen when something strikes, when disaster strikes, and that can't be the first time you will hear about this. That's the reason why things like this exist, and like why people need to be informed. And I understand that it's really, really sensitive, and from your religious perspective you might and might not support it, but then again, these are people's lives. So I think this should be added to some sort of curriculum where school students are also aware of this, and even in universities, they are made aware of this, because this is a very prevailing issue. It's not come to pass, like it's not a recent thing, it's been there for centuries, like, right? And we should be made aware, and we should look into things like this, and we should be educated about things like this, because organizations are there, but there's only so much they can do.
We should make a more safer environment for people who want to kind of speak about their experience, speak about their battles, and also an environment where they will be comfortable, where society doesn't sideline them just because they're suicidal, or just because they're depressed, or they have mental issues. So I think as a society, when it comes to, I don't know, what I think is that we've failed the people who have succumbed to suicide as a society. But we can always do better. We can learn from our mistakes and make a more safer and a more caring environment for a lot of others out there that may also feel suicidal, that also may feel lost and may feel like that there's no other solution.
So as a country, we should bring these things to light. They are not taboo topics anymore. They are issues that need to be solved.
If we do talk about it a lot more, if we acknowledge it a lot more, I wouldn't have to be here talking about who I lost. So yeah, for sure, always room for improvement.